Hey everyone, I'm Kyle, and this is the Freelancer podcast. I'm excited to be chatting with Marko, and we are going to have a very cool freelancing chat. So, with that said, let's just get straight into it. Marko, thanks for joining, and I'm really looking forward to this one. Maybe we can start with you just letting us know, who you are and what it is that you do.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. So as you said, my name is Marko. I'm a freelance developer. Mainly my focus is on iOS development right now. But I also do web development. But my current clients develop mostly in iOS, and when they need some web projects, I help them with that also. And I have also other clients that need some smaller things like WordPress sites, web shops with WooCommerce and things like that. We do everything the client needs.
Hmm. Awesome. Okay, so I think there's a lot there that you mentioned. So first of all, when you say we, who do you mean by that?
Well, mainly me. Also, my wife helped me.
Hmm.
Now I'm kind of onboarding a friend of mine that just started learning web development, so that he can help me manage more web projects because
Hmm.
I'm mainly focused on iOS.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I can take in more work that's web development, and so that he can help me.
Awesome.
We're slowly forming a small team.
Awesome. Awesome. That's great. So right now is your focus on the web development or web apps and things like that, or is it more focused on the app development like iOS and
Well, my biggest client is for iOS. They do custom apps for third parties. So that's my main focus, but I'm trying to do more web development right now. I
hmm,
want to spread in all the directions
hmm.
so I can cover more work.
Awesome. That's interesting. I've actually not had many conversations with app developers, especially iOS. I think you're the first person I've chatted to from an iOS focus. And I'm curious, like, why, how can I put it? Like, why the interest in iOS and sort of what got you started in, that direction?
I don't know. I'm an Apple fanboy. Not really, but I like the Apple ecosystem. Let's say it like that.
Hmm,
And the development process for iOS apps is great, in my opinion. And I fell in love with it, and I started with that. But at the beginning, it was hard getting clients. I was a junior developer. I was just learning, and it was much easier to find people with web projects, some small websites and things like that. So I started with web. Then I was working on iOS until I found my first bigger client, and then I just kind of stuck with it.
hmm.
But
Awesome.
I also, yes, they got some projects, and I'm helping them for whatever they need on iOS, and yeah,
Hmm,
I just like it. The Apple development platform is great in my opinion.
hmm. And you're doing this full time now, right? This is your full
Yes,
time job. Okay,
yes. From February,
from February. Okay, great. So
yes, I left my steady job and went to freelancing full time.
awesome, awesome. Yeah, maybe we can start there, and you can share. But how old are you at the moment?
I'm 30 right now.
30. Okay, and which country do you live in?
Slovenia.
Slovenia. Okay, awesome,
Yes, from
awesome.
Europe.
Okay, great. Okay, so maybe you can sort of start us off on like maybe your early 20s, and then like how did you get started, especially with the web development and then the iOS and all of that, and we can just sort of take it from there.
Yeah, sure. It all started in high school. There we started with Java, but we were fast learners, and we learned a lot more than we were taught in school. Then came college, and from there I started spreading my knowledge. On college, I think I got my first iPhone, then my Mac, and then I slowly started iOS development, just learning. I was still in college then. Then I got my first job. I dropped
Hmm.
out from college. I was servicing ATMs
Wow.
for a bank. Yeah. uh, it sounds something big, but it's not. It's just installing Windows and other programs on ATMs. But
Hmm.
I got a lot of free time, and I was learning actually at work in my free time when I
Hmm.
didn't have stuff to do. I was learning, and so slowly, I built my skills with iOS on the side, some web projects, and from there on, I got my first client when I was still employed there,
Hmm.
and it piqued my interest. And I started researching how to do that more, how to find clients. Then I got bored at that job. Then I switched jobs. I went to a company that was offering IT services to other companies, managing servers, computers, software, hardware, basically all they need. And then there I switched to programming in C Sharp. We were making a crypto exchange platform.
Hmm.
It was an interesting project, but I don't know, it wasn't for me. So in this job, I started getting more clients, and at one time I said, okay, now I have to stop with everything and I go freelancing full time.
Wow.
Uh,
Yeah.
and then I got this client, which I do iOS for, and things are picking up from there.
So when did you start freelancing on the side? Like which year?
I don't know. It was on my first job, I think, 2017.
Okay. Okay.
It's
And
for 4 years now.
okay.
I
Awesome.
opened
Awesome.
my company on the side,
Hmm.
and it's open for 4 year now, 4 years now, and I'm full time freelancing since February this year.
Okay. Awesome. I think that can relate to a lot of people because for me, I also started freelancing on the side, a full time job, and I found that I mean most people start out that way, right? I mean
Yes,
you
yes.
have to pay the bills, and I mean there's
Yeah,
there's
it's
like
easier.
yeah. So I think I want to sort of delve on that and focus on that. So you were focusing on, you had a full-time job, you were
Yes.
freelancing on the side. Let's
Yes.
maybe start with like how did you get those clients on the side, and like how well did it go? Perhaps maybe we can start there.
Yeah, sure. My first client was a recommendation
Hmm.
from word to mouth.
Oh, from work.
Uh, yes,
Okay.
yes. From someone knew someone, and they asked me if I'm interested. It was a design job, web design job, just a design for a website, which they didn't use at the end, because their programmer didn't know how to apply it. But
Hmm.
nevertheless, it was my first client. Uh, and from there, I don't know, I opened my Facebook page, got some clients from there, and I was telling everybody what I was doing, family, friends, everybody that I could. I told them I'm doing websites, I'm doing apps. This is the easiest to start.
Hmm.
Then at my second job, I started sending emails to companies. I was looking, I took some time, went on the web, looked at some company pages, and if I found something or I thought I could improve their website, I send them an email so to see if they're interested. uh, but most of the time people don't reply
Mm.
until you follow up. If you follow up enough, they will respond. But mostly, it was still mostly negative. But if I didn't follow up, I didn't get any responses, and I was sending 20 to 50 mails a day.
Nice,
But
nice.
and I tried different strategies, putting in the pricing in the first email. Then I tried sending emails just with suggestions to see if I can lure in some clients with that, and like that. And now currently I'm not actively looking for clients because I have so much work with iOS that I can't manage everything. That's why I'm starting to build a team so we can start looking again for work. And I'm planning to do some social media activity to work on my online presence. I think this is very important because if people don't know you exist, they can't hire you.
Exactly,
Uh,
exactly.
but
Yeah.
it's hard. Once you start and you have some big clients, you can do everything you can. And
Mm.
when I was still employed, there was a time I was just too overwhelmed. I couldn't focus enough on freelancing, on getting clients, and at one point I said, "Stop! I have to, I have to leave my job if I want to do this seriously."
Awesome, awesome. Well, first of all, well done. And
Yeah, thank you.
I think like I really enjoy like that mindset and attitude, because I speak to a lot of freelancers almost every day, and it's amazing how on from their perspective, it's almost like they've got a website, or they've got like a profile somewhere, let's say on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and they just expect clients to come to them, to find them. And I think there's a valuable lesson there in your journey and experience. It was the same for me, and that is about like being proactive, and I'm
Yes.
so glad when you said that. Well, there's so much of what you said which is great. I mean, first of all, if we look at the emails, I think the takeaway there is like, first of all, it took many emails per day, like over 20 emails a day, which that says a lot, because that's hundreds of emails a month. And I often
Mm.
speak to people who say like, "Hey Carl, I sent 20 emails and I didn't get a response," and I'm like, keep going, and also what's nice is you are adapting along the way, like you said that you would try different emails, you would put in different your pricing or different approach, and website analysis report, things like that. And I really think that's the way to go, like to adapt and get things. And the other thing I just want to mention and highlight is that, at the beginning it's like a grind, right? Like it's a lot of effort, and then eventually after 2 3, sometimes 5 years, clients start coming to you, and because you've got that recognition, reputability, and you've got that work experience behind you. So yeah, I think that's an important one. Maybe you can add to that or highlight that aspect of freelancing, especially for beginners.
Yes, yes, you have to do the work. It's,
Mm.
it's just basically that. I currently don't have a website because I don't have the time to make one. But that just shows how proactive you must
Mm.
be and
Mm.
how that helps getting clients. A
Mm.
website alone is not the main source of clients. Of course,
Very
it
true.
helps. I lost some clients because I didn't have my website. I got
Mm.
some recommendations. Then they wanted to see my website. It wasn't online, and they said, "I can see his work." Da, 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 da.
Mm.
And
Mm.
it happened. Of course, it's great to have a website. I will make one. I hope soon, if I find the time. Uh, but
Awesome.
yes, you just have to put in the work and look for clients.
Mm.
They especially at the beginning, they won't come by themselves.
Mm,
And I know it can be very discouraging when you send hundreds of emails and you don't get a response back, but you just have to put that aside and go do
mm.
the work.
100%, 100%. Yeah, I really love that. That attitude and mindset, as I said, and also it says a lot to deal with, like, 100 no's before you
Mm.
get like a positive response. And as you say, most of them don't respond. And
Mm.
and another thing which is very important is the email follow-ups. I've also
Yeah.
found in myself that most clients respond in the follow-ups, which again, that just highlights the proactive mindset of,
Mm.
like, not being reactive and waiting. Because I mean, I speak to a lot of people now, and one of the most recent ones that comes to mind when you said, like, you don't even have a website. Like, this other person is like so focused on like the logo, and like trying to have like the perfect thing, but she's not really understanding that her website's okay to get going now. Now she needs to be proactive about trying to pitch clients and all that. And I think for those like watching or listening, that's really, really, I can't stress enough, the idea and the strategy of being proactive instead of being reactive to this. But Marko, maybe I can ask this, and that is, in your emails and your response and your outreach and all that type of stuff, how did you price your services, and has that changed over the years? And yeah, maybe you can share some tips on what worked for you there.
Yeah. Uh, I just want to go back to the logo you mentioned.
Oh, sure.
I think the perfectionism. I heard this once. Perfectionism is the enemy of progress.
Mm,
You
mm,
have to just start, make a logo, make a website, just put something, start working, start looking for clients, and you'll improve that over time. Don't
mm,
wait until everything is perfect, because it won't be.
mm. I
Well,
love that.
especially website apps, none of them are perfect and they all require constant work. So
Mm,
the work never stops. Just
mm.
at one point, put it online, make yourself known, and start working.
Nice. I love that. Great,
Yeah,
great advice on that.
yeah. For the pricing, it depends. I actually liked what you were teaching people, that you assess what the company makes and you ask for part of that. I like that because not everyone can afford, I don't know, sites for 10,000 euros or something like that. There are small clients, like people who are just starting, and there are companies. Depends who you're working with. For
Mm,
this client, they're charging tens or even 100,000 for some projects, but I can charge that for a web shop for someone who's just starting.
mm, mm,
So I don't know. I try to see how much time it will take me. That's one of the main reasons. If it's a project that will last 3 or 4 months, I can do it for $100,
mm, mm,
for example. Uh, you have to assess the time, see how much they're willing to pay, because price is a big factor, and people will lose some clients when they reveal their pricing. That happens a lot. I don't
mm.
know why. I guess people expect everything is free, but sadly it's not. Uh, so yeah, I adapt depending on the client.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. I think that's. I mean, that's an excellent approach. Because, like, I mean, let's say a florist or a nutritionist or a
Yeah,
baker,
yeah,
you wouldn't charge the same price as like a lawyer or or
yeah,
or
yeah.
something. And
Mm,
that's a very crucial aspect, and the right mindset, especially like if you're dealing with a construction company, like a massive company, versus a small local business like an
mm,
accounting
mm,
firm or something. You do, that mindset and perspective will help tailor your pricing in a way. And also, it's in a way, it also deals down with niching down to a degree,
Yeah.
because I mean, you're sort of figuring out your ideal client, and then
Mhm.
adapting your pricing accordingly. And I'm curious. I mean, I know you've niched down in terms of the iOS focus, or that is one of your focuses now. But um, besides that, on like a general sense, like are you finding that you're working with like all types of clients, or like specific clients or niches or anything?
Right now, with all types of clients, I didn't want to be too selective, especially at the beginning. So I
Mm,
accepted all the work, but it's certainly easier to sell, I don't know, a doctor a web page if you've done 20 web pages for
mm,
doctors before, or
mm,
if
mm,
you've got coffee shops, it will be hard to sell to a doctor.
mm,
I don't know,
mm, mm,
a web page, for example. So I like the idea of niching down, but it's not always easy, I
mm,
think.
mm,
Uh, I don't know. I think you have to do at the beginning. You have to accept pretty much all work, except if you hate it. Don't do projects that you hate, because it will be a waste of time and you will get discouraged and everything.
mm.
But yes, if you can, choosing a niche, I think it's a good idea. Yes.
Mm. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I think, I mean, for you, for your business, I would definitely suggest at some point, niching down to, let's say, doing iOS or web apps for
Yeah.
a specific industry or something. And even if you do want to sort of keep it a little bit broader, you could say, startups or tech startups, or,
Yeah.
things like that. And I think it will get a bit clearer as you go. But just something to keep in mind, especially for your business, because I mean, you're doing it full time, and that's excellent. That's great. But like, let's say, next year, maybe you want to start focusing a little bit more on the long term strategy of like trying to niche down a bit. I think that'll be good for you. Yeah, and then dealing with clients and all that. Do you have any tips for freelancers who have bad clients, or how to manage that process? I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah. I almost had to sue my first client.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, because it was an interesting experience. It's not always easy dealing with clients, and you'll often get discouraged because it's hard working with people. let's
Mm,
let's say
mm,
it like that, and people are different and they react in different ways, so you have to adapt with clients. But if a client is causing you too much trouble, just end the work, end it on good terms. Don't just say, go away, I don't want to work with you. Just say, I think we we should stop working together because we have different visions or something like that. Just do
mm,
it in a good way. I found out that working with clients you don't like, it's hard. It
mm,
takes a lot from you, and it's better to leave that client. I know it's hard because it's bringing in revenue, but I think in the long term, it's better to find work you like than
mm,
working with clients you don't like.
mm, mm. Yeah,
So
yeah.
there are
Yeah.
no specific, I don't have any specific strategies. I just
Mm,
see how a client reacts and then adapt. And if we don't find uh, a common ground, we just go each other way and
mm,
stop working together.
mm.
I think it's better in the long term.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I, I actually agree with that, and especially as one has, a few clients, or once there's some revenue coming in, maybe at the beginning it might be a bit challenging,
Yeah.
because you generally need the cash and all that. But yeah, I do agree with that. I think maybe like sort of first of all, I mean, in our conversation so far, what stands out to me is very much like the proactiveness and everything, and I really like what you've done, and I think that's a major takeaway for me personally. But sort of, you know, like wrapping up in like your final advice, because I mean, at the moment we've got like well, not at the moment, but when this goes live, I mean, we'll have a few listeners or watchers, and it's freelancers who sell different services, mainly like web development, web design, certain marketing.
Sorry, the connection got. I
Oh,
didn't hear anything. Can
sorry.
you?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I
Sorry.
can.
So where did I cut off?
Wrapping up.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah, I think obviously you've said a lot of great value, but like your final advice for aspiring freelancers, people who are struggling or people who are sort of doing well, what would you say to them, and what would your final advice be for those types of people?
My advice is don't get discouraged. Do the work, be proactive, and just don't stop. And at one point, be brave enough to go full in, because if you don't, you'll always be stuck at a certain level and things won't move forward.
I really love that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Marko, thank you. This has been I really enjoyed this chat, and I think it'll
Yeah,
be valuable for a lot of people. Do you want people to like find you on social media somehow, or?
yeah, sure. People can write to me on the Slack channel. My Facebook page is Marvix Digital, my company.
Awesome.
I don't know how to. I'm not good at spelling in English.
No problem.
I hope people understand Marvix with an X, digital. So if people can find me, they can write me there. Or I'm
Awesome,
Marko Bizik on Facebook, or I don't know. They can
awesome.
find me.
Yeah. I think I'll definitely tag you on the Facebook and Slack communities when I post it. But yeah, thank you so much once again, Marko, and I really wish you well in your freelancing journey as you end off the year, and may it also be a very fruitful and strategic one going forward in next year. And yeah, I mean, I look forward to chatting. I mean, we'll chat in the DMs and everything as usual. But yeah, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for having me. I hope I gave some useful info to everybody.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks, Marko.
Yeah. Bye.